Hey guys, hope all is well. Welcome back to another video on Preaching Chords for Beginners. Thank you guys so much for the support once again for everything, especially on the E flat video. That has been getting so many views lately, and I appreciate every single one of you for just viewing it, from liking and subscribing, commenting, sharing, all the beautiful things. And I'm just really excited to keep teaching you all, and to just be just going higher, even with you guys, even as I'm teaching you, I'm still teaching myself, and like just regaining skills on the fundamentals and basics of preaching chords. So like I posted not too long ago in like the posting section, like not the comment section, but like the discussion part of YouTube, I have been listening and just reading some of your comments about just making sure that um different things like they you guys enjoy how I take my time, and thank you for that. I try to make sure that you guys understand what I'm playing and what I'm teaching, and also I thank you guys for just for those of you who have given really like sound constructive criticism. Thank you for that. It definitely helps the process of teaching and making sure that I can help you guys as much as I can. With that being said, we're switching up the chords. They're more beginner friendly. Yes, they are. And I want everyone to be able to get them and not just rely on me doing more advanced chords. I think I'll begin doing like a more advanced teaching on preaching chords. So last video though, we were in the key of G. Today we are in the key of A flat. Okay, so we'll just go over our scale degrees. So we got A flat is our 1. Okay, B flat is 2, C is 3, D flat is 4, E flat is 5, F is 6, G is 7, and then back to the 1 A flat. Okay, so yeah, to begin, what your chords are doing, they're doing a few things. So as I'm sharing these chords with you, these are assuming that you do have a bass player present in your band. For example, I have played with a bass player. I have played without a bass player. With a bass player is a lot more fun, and you're free to do more. You're free to do more movements. You're free to do more embellishments. A lot of times, you're able to not do as many things. Not do as many things as you would like to if you didn't have an organ. If you didn't have a bass player, but yeah, on organ. If it's just you on the organ, you can definitely implement these as well, but of course with the foot pedals on the floor. So that is a whole workout in and of itself too, by the way. And it's really fun. Like the first few times I've like, this is like a while ago, I was doing foot pedals. It was definitely a workout for my foot and my legs too. But it if you play organ, you'll be fine. You'll get it over time and with consistent practice. So without further ado, let's just go ahead and get into it. So these are the chords that we will be playing. So we'll start with a 3, which is C. We'll go up a half step, which is D flat. Okay, 3 is going to be our C is going to be our 3, by the way. Our D flat is 4. And then up, or D natural, is our diminished chord. And then once again, I've explained it some in the previous videos. So when I say the word up, a lot of times in your band, well, in my band, a lot of times we don't have enough time to say, oh yeah, play this fully diminished 7th chord. Like when you're playing these chords, these preaching chords, you are in the, like, your preacher or your pastor or your bishop, they're just going like they're in the zone, like they're really just going haywire, like Holy Spirit's like really like using them, and they're preaching the house down. You don't have enough time to say all of those words, so we just keep it to up. So that'll be your fully diminished chord, which is the flat 5 or the sharp 4, and then your 5 chord, which is E flat, or your 5 scale degree, by the way. And then we'll go back to the 1 for the sake of this video. Okay, so I'm gonna deconstruct what I have been doing the past videos. And thank you guys again for the support for the past videos. So I'm gonna break these down even more for beginners. So this is assuming you do have a bass player present. So your left hand is still going to implement those tritones, but in your right hand, I am going to break things down just a little more. So in your left hand, we'll start with the left hand. Okay, so to begin, we have the we have B flat and E, and that's going to be your tritone. So your tritone gives the it's a dyad, and di means 2. Tri means 3. So whenever you hear the word triad, that means three notes. Dyad is just 2 notes only. So that tritone makes the it's in the blues scale. I remember I said in one of the previous videos, it just makes it sound churchy. That is true, but technically I wanted a more concrete answer. So the A flat blues scale, just walking straight up, no arpeggios or anything like that. So I probably have that wrong. I promise I'm going to go over that again. But in that blues scale, I promise, in that blues scale, your tritone, which is the flat 3 and the flat 3 and the minor 7 of whatever your chord you're in, that comes from the blues scale. And then so because it comes from the blues scale, the blues scale makes the preaching chords sound churchy. So that's where it's from. Not just because the tritone sounds churchy, but because the tritone comes from the blues scale. That's what I meant to say in one of my previous videos. I think it was for the key of F sharp. But anyways, so your left hand, I'm resting my ring finger on B flat. Okay, let me take this up just an octave. So B flat, and then my thumb is on E. Okay, that's going to be my 1 chord, or my 3 chord. Okay, so, and then I'm going to slide my ring finger up just 1/2 step to B natural. And then my thumb is I'm going to pick up my thumb from E and place it on F. Okay, and then I'm not going to move just yet. I am going to add a finger. I'm going to add my index finger to this D natural for our up chord. Okay, so right now we have it's not a fully diminished 7th chord, but it is a triad, a diminished triad. Okay, and then for my last chord, which is going to be the 3 or the 5, I'm sorry, so which is E flat, I am going to slide up just a 1/2 step from, actually not a 1/2 step. I'm going to place my middle finger on D flat, and I'm going to place my my thumb on G natural. So that's going to be my 5 chord. Okay, and then back to the 1. So back to the 1 chord. Now I'm going to slide back to the just a 1/2 step on both of these. So my middle finger goes to C natural, or goes to C. Okay, and then my thumb goes to G flat. Okay. All right, so there's that. So one more time. So we got B flat and E, which is our tritone, which comes from the blues scale notes, blues scale. So B flat with my middle finger and E with my thumb. Okay, B natural with my middle finger, and then and then also if I get some of these finger positionings incorrect, they are interchangeable. So for example, instead of playing B flat with my middle finger, I could use my ring finger. It's all about preference. So, and it's also about, how comfortable you are. So, but yeah, so middle finger on B flat and thumb on E natural. And then I'm just going to slide both of those up just a half step. So my middle finger goes to B natural. And then my thumb goes from E natural to F. Okay, and then I add in my index finger to D natural. So here's D. And then I pick up my middle finger and my thumb. I place my middle finger on D flat and then my thumb on G. Okay, that's going to be our 5th chord. And then I just slide those down just a half step. So my middle finger goes to C and my thumb goes to G flat. And we're back at the 1. Okay, so that's it for the left hand as far as that is concerned. So we add in our right hand. I'm going to, just once again, make sure that it is very, very understandable. So we got our 3 chord. All that is just a major A flat chord. But instead of since we're going in an upward direction, scale degree wise, so from the 3 to the 4, we're just going to implement just a normal A flat major chord. However, it is a first inversion. So instead of playing a root A flat major chord, which is A flat, C, E flat, A flat is your root note, but then your first inversion of an A flat major chord is C, E flat, and A flat, and we're going to keep A flat on the top. Okay, so this is our first chord. So there's that. Okay, and then so the next thing I'm going to do, I'm going to keep my, oh yeah, by the way, my thumb is on C, my ring fingers, I'm sorry, not my ring finger. Well, yeah, my ring finger's on A flat, and then my index finger's on E flat. So that's going to be our 3 chord. Okay. Okay, so there's that. For our next chord, our 4 chord, I'm going to keep my ring finger where it is. However, I am going to slide my thumb to the left down a half step. That's going to give us our 4 chord. So C becomes B natural. Okay, and then I'm going to remove my index finger, and I'm going to place my middle finger on F. So it should sound like this. Okay, so that's our 4 chord. So basically, if you look at it, the left hand and the right hand are doubling up, with the exception of that A flat on the ring finger on my right hand. Okay, so we got B natural, F, and then A flat. So thumb on B, middle finger on F, and ring finger on A flat. Okay, and then for the up chord, quote unquote, or the diminished chord, you can honestly just stay right there, but to give it that full, like, diminished, not necessarily the quality, but the sound of it, or not necessarily adding more notes, but because we want to add, we want it to be more full. All I'm doing is just adding that D natural to my to the chord. So I'm adding my ring finger. I'm adding my index finger. I'm sorry, I'm getting everything a little mixed up just a little bit. I got it. I'll manage. So your index finger on your right hand, adds to D or goes to D. So left hand, or honestly, you could just leave out D natural because that's still, you could, but the only thing is that we want to lead up to the 5, which is E flat. So what I would do in this instance, I would just leave your left hand, leave the left hand the way it is, and just hold on to this 4 chord. So right, and I would not play D natural at all in my right hand. I would just let my left hand take care of that. Okay, and then so for our 5 chord, we're just going to play 2 notes. So to echo with the tritone in the left hand. So this is our 5 chord, by the way. So we got, I'm going to take the 4 of A flat, which is D flat, and you can count up to D flat from A flat by counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 half notes, which is also a chordal, like one of the concepts I discussed in my previous videos. So when I'm referring to chordals, I'm referring to perfect fourths, and then honestly, in the opposite direction, perfect fifths. It's just the direction of the, like I see in music theory we had like a huge in my undergrad we had like a huge circle of fifths, like literally, and it was just very colorful, and we had fifths going one way, fourths going the other way, and everything in between. Like it was just this really elaborate picture of just music theory. It was really beautiful, but it does matter the direction you're going in. So our chordals, so that refers to 4. So 1, you can count up 4 notes in the scale degree of A flat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Or you can count up 5 half steps from A flat. So A flat is our reference, and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, and then so in addition to that D flat, my index finger is on D flat, and then we're gonna add the flat 7 of A flat, which is G flat. So you get to the flat 7 by just counting 2 half steps down. Here's A flat, and then 1, 2, which is G flat. Okay, and then I'm just resting my my ring finger right there. So here's our 5 chord all together. And that's it for the 5 chord. So putting all those together, here we go. Oh, and back to the 1. Back to the 1. So the 1 chord, remember that same chord that you played for the 3? It's the exact same chord. It's a first inversion A flat chord. So what that is, instead of playing this root note, A flat, C, E flat, take A flat and place it up, and that's where your right pinky is going to be. Right pinky, or I prefer the right ring finger because it just feels more comfortable. Okay, so back to the 1, and then in my left hand, I'm playing A flat with my pinky and a G flat. Or you can also play a C and a G flat as well. That could also be your 1. And we still got that tritone in there, which still makes it sound churchy. And it sounds churchy again because it comes from the blues scale. So, all right, so we're going to do our chords again. So I'm going to go from left to right. So in the left hand, we got our tritone, B flat and E, with the ring finger and the thumb respectively. And in my right hand, I'm doing thumb on C, index finger on E flat, ring finger on A flat. That's our 3 chord. Okay, and we're going to double up with the left hand and right hand together, with the exception of the right hand right ring finger being on A flat for the 4 chord. So these are 3 and 4. Ring finger on left hand on B, thumb on G, thumb on F. I'm sorry. My ring finger on my right hand is still on A flat, but my thumb is going to go from C to B. Okay. And then my middle finger on my right hand is going to F natural. Okay. For our up chord or our diminished chord, I'm going to leave my right hand where it is, but my left hand is going to insert the my left hand is going to have, okay, so my index finger is going to have D natural. So your left hand is your ring finger on B, index on D, thumb on F, and then on your right hand, it's the same thing as the 4 chord. So thumb on B, middle finger on F, and then ring finger on A flat. Okay, and then for our 5 chord, your from your left hand to your right hand, ring finger on your left hand is on D flat, thumb is on G, and then on your right hand, your index finger is on D flat, and then your ring finger on your right hand is on G flat, and then we're going to resolve that back to the 1. So pinky is on from left to right once again, A flat with your pinky on your left hand, and then on your thumb, your left thumb is G flat, so you want that flat 7 in there. Okay, trying to keep it as basic as I can. And then on your right hand, it's just, once again, it's that first inversion A flat chord. So instead of A flat, C, and E flat, we're going to go C with your thumb, E flat with your index finger, and then A flat with your ring finger, with your right ring finger. Okay, so once again, I'm just going to show the chords, and then I'm just going to show the chord qualities. So here we go. 3, it's the 4 chord, up, okay, and 5, and back to the 1. Okay, so yeah, those are the preaching chords for the key of A flat for beginners. Please let me know if you have any questions about anything that we went over today. I would definitely be happy to answer them and to help you guys as much as possible. And also, I am doing virtual piano lessons for beginners and also for intermediate or expert, or if you need a refresher, or even if you play just a different instrument, I definitely have them available. The link is in my bio, and also in the recent post discussion that I posted. Thank you guys so much again for watching. I'm trying to make sure I cover everything. And then be encouraged if you're watching this and you don't you're thinking about taking up piano, or even taking up a whole another instrument, honestly. Just take your time. And that's something I had to wrestle with myself. I had to make sure that I not only took time out of my day to make these practices happen in my own spare time, but to also just be patient with myself. That's a really big thing, because we want it now. Like, we want to be great now, and there's nothing wrong with being great, but there's no use in bypassing the whole process, because you want to, it's like a crock pot. Like, you want like your roast beef or your turkey wings. I like turkey wings. You want your turkey wings or your meal to be well done. You want it to be flavorful. You want it to be really delicious, instead of just throwing something in the microwave. Like, you want if the goal is a more soulful dinner, like hearty, warm, like it feels like home, if that's the goal, then you should be using a crock pot. If you don't really care about your growth, and truthfully, there have been some times where I've just kind of just bum rushed through some things. That is not a good idea. I don't want to throw anything into the microwave, even though we kind of live in a microwave generation. I want everything that I do, and you want everything you do to be cooked well, to be cooked all the way through, and you want it to be soulful and delicious. So all the flavors can can just mesh together. So when it all comes together, it's like a chef's kiss. It's a masterpiece. So, but yeah, be encouraged. Patience is key, and then of course consistency and repetition. Thank you guys once again for watching. If you're watching on my social medias, please like, comment, share, repost. I'm trying to remember the other things. And if you're on YouTube, thank you guys. I'm almost at 200 subscribers. Yes. Thank you guys so much. Seriously, thank you guys so much for just the support. I really appreciate it. So if you're on YouTube, please like, comment, subscribe, share. Don't forget to sign up for piano lessons. It's $50 for 30 minutes. We go over a lot. And also the first 8 people who do sign up, I do have special gifts, special gifts for you guys. I have some things to show and let you guys know about. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching this video, and I will see you in the key. I'll see you in the next video for the key of A natural. All right, thank you guys so much.